SVC Media.
Welcome to the iGaming Daily Podcast, analysing the news from the betting and gaming industry all over the globe, supported by Optimove, the #1 CRM marketing solution for the iGaming market.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the SVC iGaming Daily Podcast, the marketing edition where we talk everything about marketing and SEO, what's happening in 2025 and what we expect 2026 by now. iGaming Daily is supported by Optimove, the creator of positionless marketing and the #1 player engagement platform. I have got two fantastic guests, Maria and Berta, and today we will be talking about what is happening in SERPs and can SEO still bring traffic to affiliation? If yes, what are the practices, what are the tactics, and what are the strategies we can implement? Ladies, welcome. Please shortly introduce yourself. We'll take it alphabetically, so Berta, then Maria.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Ivana. My name is Berta. I'm the founder of Berta. I'm a consultant in the SEO gambling landscape for over 12 years already. Consultant for gambling, affiliate gambling sites and networks. And yes.
Thank you for joining us. And Maria, she's a well-known name. She has already been joining us in this podcast a few times. But again, welcome, Maria.
Thank you so much, Ivana, for having me again. My name is Maria, and I have been the last 10 years in SEO, in iGaming, affiliation mostly. And yes, every year it's something new. So I'm very curious what we're going to discuss today.
Yes, it's a different name, same problems, isn't it?
Exactly.
Basically, Google is trying to kill affiliation, isn't it? With the latest updates, it's just taking traffic from affiliation, and we see this weird drop. So in your opinion, what happened in June 2025 core update, where we saw on like 7th of July, we saw a massive drop across all markets and almost all affiliation sites? What is happening in your opinion? What have you observed? Is anything working right now?
First of all, I have to say, and this is a kind of a backfire question, because you're saying Google is like cutting off the affiliates, but isn't Google doing it anyway? I mean, this is just a matter of time. And yes, after the core update back in June, many affiliates just disappeared from the SERPs, and we see more and more parasites. We see more and more sites with drop domains. This is something that works out, and as long as it works out, people are doing it.
But why does it look like Google is sort of punishing the good SEO, the whitehead, the one that they tell us, do a great content, create the fantastic PR campaigns, and we will reward you? And it's not true. We saw all of these good practices on huge affiliate websites. We're not talking something that started yesterday, losing their traffic. Maria, what do you think? You have been in a space, affiliation, SEO for 10 years. So what is your observation here? What is your take on this situation?
So it's definitely interesting times we live in right now. And I know some people say that affiliation is dead, SEO is dead, Google is dead. I mean, everyone is dead in this industry. And some people suggest we might as well just give up and don't do anything. However, what is really happening, I think it's an interesting time because we've seen a lot of change have happened in the SERP. I don't think Google just trying to get rid of affiliates. I don't think it's really their issue right now. I think it's their algorithm and over-reliance on AI has made it clear that it's just the leverage of authority that we are building on. So whoever has the biggest authority right now will rank. And it happens to be that affiliates have bigger authority because they've probably been longer, they have better products, more mentioning, more stronger links, just like an affiliate that has started 3 or 4 years ago. Why Parasite is working for the same simple reason, because they have much bigger authority, certain sites that they are taking snap domains for the same reason. So leveraging authority in the current market and the landscape, I think the way to go. Some affiliates, we all know who, managed to do it quite well. We're not going to discuss the reason how they're doing it, but they are doing it. And a lot of affiliates are bringing money, not in a very orthodox way and how we got used to it, but there are ways how to get traffic from the SERPs, and the traffic is still there. It's just a little bit different ways.
Yeah, I would just clarify for people that might not be SEOs and listening to us. Authority is basically the link equity that we get, and as well history, because we know history, being online for a while, having historical data, including traffic, visitors coming back and interacting with the websites are all ranking signals. We had it in the leaks, and this is proving to be really, really valuable right now. So it's all about good history in good backlink profile. And this is why Parasite or even drop domains, as Berta said, are working. So affiliation is not dead. Affiliation just needs to be more creative, in my opinion. And again, in my opinion, nothing wrong with good Parasite if it's working, if that's what Google likes. My problem with it is Google is saying, don't do this. So how would you go about affiliation, or would you recommend drop domains, or what would be your go-to right now? Because I think, in my opinion, darker the market, darker the strategy, right? If you are in markets where you shouldn't be and you're going to be closed off anyway in 3 months, you can just risk it all. If you are doing regulated UK, I would not risk it. But what would be your strategy? What would you advise anyone listening to this? How to build a strategy? Because we are nearing 2026. What would be your strategy? What would be your predictions? What would be your budgeting for 2026? People are getting ready for that now.
But what I can tell you, it depends. It depends.
Of course, you are in SEO.
It depends. It depends on the market. I mean, if you take, for instance, markets like Canada, where you see massively parasites, where you see massively drop domains, I would say, yeah, go for it. Black hat. And it's very difficult to get ranked with the white hat tactics. If you take, for instance, markets where it's very regulated, for instance, Germany, I would be a bit careful to do some parasites, but maybe play around a bit with drop domains, maybe. So it depends on the market. It depends how competitive the SERPs are. And based on this, I would build a strategy. And I would also to take into consideration, if, let's say, I decide for a strategy that doesn't have the black hat tactics included, and I want to go whited because this is a regulated market, I would really focus budgets for digital PR, where Maria just said, you need to build your authority, you need to build your brand, you need to build your trust, and you can do it with digital PR. And it's not just only digital PR for search. You can do it on every single channel, on social, you can do it on YouTube, you can do it, you name it, everywhere. And this is where I would invest my time to build my brand. Yes.
Yeah, brand is really good. And especially if you are in the regulated and wide markets where you can. But if you are targeting, let's say, Turkey, you're probably not going to have time to do that. So you should look into more of the creative marketing, right? Maria, what would be your strategy for 2026? If you can pick up anything right now, any markets, what would you do?
I think one of the things I would like to start saying is that right now we always need to set up a strategy maybe for a month, 2 months. We don't know what will happen with AI, with all the LLMs. The whole industry is changing from one day to another. There are new things launching. So I think having a strategy like we used to do like 5 years ago, we have a strategy for a whole year and we run it. I think it's changing. You need to be very agile in what we're going to do. Target, it's really fast paced. So I think it's for all the SEOs out there, I think you really need to be able to be flexible. I think first is be flexible. The second is what I think I would do for 2026 is starting to building PBN. Not only for SEO, it's extremely important, but also for the LLMs. And we've known that building a PBN sounds very black, dark, and people probably say it's like, oh my God, you're doing something wrong. You can do it in a good way. Obviously, there are levels how you do it, but I do think that can be used as a leverage. One for authority, for LLM, building context. It's nothing new that SEOs didn't do. I think right now we're just seeing the power of it and how powerful it can be with all the AI mentioning as well. So starting to building your PBN can kill two birds with one stone. It probably can help you build the authority you need and also can help you with your GEO, as some people would like to call it nowadays.
And this is something I would love to get into because I keep saying certain markets still need PBN and some PBN or brand protection sites can be absolutely used to manipulate LLMs. And if you want to do AI tactics, so stay with us because we're going to talk about it shortly.
SBC Leaders connects the gambling industry's top-tier operators and associations to share the best ideas, collaborate on solving the biggest issues, and push innovation throughout the betting and gaming industry. If you're an operator and want to join the discussion, visit sbcleaders.com for more information.
So anyway, I love the idea of PBNs, especially in a market when we're really struggling to get any good links. For me, that would be any of the restricted markets. For example, New Zealand, impossible. No matter how much you try, there's like 10 links circling. Another link that are circling there are PBN and are not really good. So how would you go about creating good PBN for any market? And then we can talk about how you use it for LLMs, because I have my own strategy and I absolutely LLMs, PBN or brand protection sites go together for me, because obviously a different type of optimization. But how would you go about it? That you mentioned it and actually took the words out of my mouth.
So for the PBN building, I think there is no one way how to do it right. It's all about starting. I do think you need to keep relevancy in mind. So keep relevancy in mind, try to get as many, let's say the snap domain route, right? You can, instead of buying a link for, I don't know, 500 euros, you can buy 10 snap domains and build a site with the same amount of money. So, it takes time though. So one of the things you need to keep in mind, building PBN takes time if you want to do it in a good way. Once you're building it, try to get as much relevant domains as you can, building them slowly. My way, I suggest always try to build them up from the branding perspective. Don't just go straight away into casino vertical and it's just, you're going to burn it before it even starts working. So try to make sure that it works first. And I know we have a lot of impatient people we're working with, but it will serve you well if it's done well from the start. So I think these are the key points: is try to keep the relevancy, go for the branding, and make sure that you have time. You're not going to start using it in 1 month. It's not going to give you anything, and keep on building it. And the more you do, there are obviously a lot of technical part that you need to keep in mind, not only the footprint, but I think that probably would be another discussion for another PBN podcast that deserves a whole episode, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And I think I would add to this, PBNs 2025, 2026 are different to PBNs 2017, when we just connected some expired domains and it sort of worked. Pyramid, tier 3, tier 2, wonderful, it works. Now as well, your PBN pages and sites need to have traffic. They need to have external links. They need to be properly catered for, and they need to be maintained. So PBNs are time consuming and they are expensive. But if they are done properly, it can actually have a huge value, because as we said, you can either one of them can start to be a fantastic affiliate sites on its own. Google loves it and just starts to promote it and it grows traffic like crazy. And we can use it for LLMs. How would you go about using for LLMs? Because what I would do, we know that ChatGPT stopped crawling Reddit, for example, or Wikipedia for mentions, right? However, they use Bing results. So I would optimize some of them for Bing results, because Bing is not as much filtering out the spam like Google. Google is getting like 1/3 of the algorithm is just spam filtering. Bing is a little bit more lenient. You still get away more with sort of keyword stuffing and horrible links and whatever. So I would do that. I would rank few pages or few sites of my PBN in Bing rather than Google, and then do mentions there and articles there for LLMs. That would be me. How would you use it as you started this team?
I think it depends what you're trying to achieve, right? Are you doing it for the brand protection? Are you trying it to build the authority? Because you need to have the goal in mind. Obviously, the goal in mind is to rank for all the keywords on earth as possible. But if you clearly identify your goal, and let's say the goal is the brand protection, even the mentions are good. If you start to building your PBN for the brand protection purposes, don't try to get ranked anywhere. Like, as long as there are mentions, as long as you're protecting your brand, I think that's a good start. If you're trying to build it in order to leverage the authority, that's where you need to do a lot of hard work, right? And this is where you try to rank this whole PBNs yourself. So this is a bit tricky, more expensive, but I think the competitive advantage that it can give you, because you almost like creating a gun that can help you shoot the birds that you're shooting. So building the PBN with many different ways is what I think can create successful affiliate nowadays. It's not what's in front all the sites that we're looking at and all the sites we're trying to rank and all of the customers, I think the affiliates right now is all about the backbone. What do you have that supports all those sites and pushing them to rank those numbers? So affiliates right now are not all about the front game. It's all about the back end development, if you can call it, for the SEOs. Developing your PBNs, developing your DPRO strategy, backlink strategy, how you acquire those backlinks, where do you acquire them. So it's all about the back end, which we're not seeing, and little less that's happening in the front end, in my opinion.
Okay, we are going a little bit to the gray head, black head tactics, but that's what SERPs 2025 and most likely 2026 are about, because people are like, you're doing everything correct, you get deranked. Why not to risk a black head? So what kind of black head or gray head tactics would you recommend, Berta? What would you think that could give us the winning push and yet not get us penalized? Do you have anything that you would recommend to look at for 2026?
There are two things that I would recommend to do, where on the long term. So one thing here, I agree with Maria when it comes to PBN, and I think you can scale it easily. I mean, we have AI today. You can do the automation and you can produce it big. Okay, so this is the first thing that I would take into consideration as a tactic. And the second, as I mentioned in the beginning, drop domain. Drop domain in order to get ranked in very difficult and competitive markets and still see the dollars. You know, it's like this would be my main focus. Parasite is nice, but Parasite is very, very risky. And if you don't have huge budget, and let's say a good backbone, it's very difficult to be successful with this.
I think Parasite depends which market you do it and how you do it, because you can do it in a post, you can rent a website, you can buy a website. But the fact is that if you are too successful, people can just report it to Google because, you know, like I would never do it, but because I love to learn from the people what they're doing. But it is fact that you can go to Google Search Console and send a message to Google and say, look, this is a charity domain just, you know, abused for Parasite, and it's gone in 24 hours. So Parasite can be very successful because you have got the history, you have got the link equity, and you just abuse it. But as well as risky, as you said. But drop domains I actually like. And I think you need to be clever here, because you can either get up 4 a.m. and buy the drop domains in a good price with a good matrix, or you use a broker and they charge you 40, 50,000 for a drop domain. So how would you go about making it profitable? Because 50,000 on a drop domain is a lot. Like not everybody is going to be sold on it when you say, I want to try this strategy. I'll buy this drop domain. It has got amazing metrics. It has got history. It had traffic. So it's all good, but it's going to cost us 50,000. I don't really see many CMOs saying, wow, well, great, done, let's do it. They'll probably be like, okay, no, thank you. So what would be your strategy to acquire good drop domains that not going to completely break your budget?
First of all, I think there are companies that actually have this budget. And
yes,
they agree
of course,
on
but
buying.
not everyone.
Yes, not everyone. But let's say if this is a company or an affiliate network that don't have the budget, first of all, I would take people from my team and train them how to find the best drop domains and to see or train them what is important. And if you have people working on this 24/7, you can get these drop domains on auctions and much cheaper. And after buying these drop domains, I would try to revive them with the content that they having or had in the past, and try to get the rankings back step by step slowly. So this is what I would do.
Yeah. What I do is I stock all these domains that I want. And when they are in auction and they start like, oh, auction starts at 3,000 euro.
Perfect.
I keep watching it. And then the next day I check because many times they don't go through. Many times people just don't bid on it. And then There is a beautiful DR on it and you saw traffic and there's DR of 60 and you're like, oh God, please. And then the next day, 4 or 5 a.m. is normally drop domain and you can buy it as an expired domain for $9. So you just need to get up early. I get up early anyway. I have cats, so thanks God to them. So I keep buying that like that. But you need to be prepared. You need to have your plan, like what you're watching for. And many times they get sold. But it is a lot of work and it is a lot of getting up early if you want to save up money. But I think it's worth it because even good PBN is built on drop domains. You don't start with fresh new domains with no traffic and no history, because we just said history, traffic, and backlinks are what we need to rank in 2025, 6, and probably 7. Good. Closing thoughts. I told you 20 minutes is like nothing. We'll be gone. But we shared a lot of good things. So closing thoughts. What is it to be concentrating on 2026 if whitehead SEO is not working?
So for me, I think it just shows us the evidence that we've spoke 20 minutes and none of us spoke about whitehead SEO. So clearly, all of us should start looking into different ways. And again, buying backlinks is not a whitehead practice, but right now we're talking about this as a whitehead practice. I think in 2026, 2027, expired domain PBNs going to become just like a normal practice in iGaming, right? This is just like a buying backlinks. Again, it's just going to be a normal practice, and we'll have expire the main department or expire the main lead, so to say. And as for the backlinks, you'll have agencies that sell you the backlinks, or you can get and scout those backlinks yourself. Same for the expired domains. You can go through the agency that can get you expired domains, or you can go and scout themselves. I think it's just a new practice that we're going to adopt in 2026, like an absolutely normal practice. Before, people used to, I remember 10 years ago, people used to be scared to buy backlinks. Oh my God, Google will discover we're buying backlinks. I mean, right now we have whole departments buying backlinks. So I really think that's the future. And people shouldn't be afraid of experimenting with that. It might sound dodgy and gray. It's absolutely not, if done properly.
Yes, you can do it in a very clever way, or you can do it in a stupid way, as everything. And Berta, what are your thoughts? What would you recommend as get ready for 2026? It's going to be a difficult one for sure for SEO. So what is it that you would recommend?
It's going to be a challenging one. I wouldn't say it's difficult, because for SEO is always difficult.
Yes, that's why I'm going with the safe thing. It's going to be a difficult one.
Yes. First thing, be patient. Then don't lose yourself in metrics and statistics and people chatting about AI taking away the search. No. Google still has almost 90% of the traffic, and AI is going into this direction, but still everything is evolving. So I agree here. The new backlink strategy or link strategy is the PBN and expired domain, and it's not a fuss to do about it. It's like you need to adapt yourself, as we're always doing as SEO, and we will do it, and just go with the flow. This is what I would recommend for the upcoming years.
I love it. And I would just conclude, I think it's okay to have whitehead strategy as well, but you need to have different assets, because sometimes whitehead gets deranked for no good reason. So you need to have something with more creative SEO as another asset that jumps in when you're losing your traffic. Don't be afraid to experiment. Keep an eye on SERPs and learn from competition. I think that's they are your best teachers. They are not to be hated. They are to be admired if they come up with something that you haven't. Thank you very much for joining me. It was very, very good. And I'm just sorry it was just 20 minutes. Next one about PBNs is coming up. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to today's iGaming Daily podcast, supported by Optimove, the #1 CRM marketing solution for the iGaming market. If you want to find out more about some of the subjects raised today, feel free to explore any of the sites in the SBC News Network, or check out the latest edition of the SBC Leaders magazine. Happy reading.